This presentation is regarding a land use bylaw map amendment to rezone a portion of the property located at 867 Randolph Road, Cambridge. My name is Alice and I'm a planner with the county. The purpose of the presentation is to inform the public about this application and to explain the planning policies that enable this application to occur and to also receive preliminary feedback. The application is currently under staff review, so no opinions have been formed on the application and no decisions have been made yet. This is the process the application will undergo before council makes a final decision. We received this application in August 2025 and a public information meeting was held on September 24th at the Cambridge Community Center. Staff are currently reviewing the application and will prepare a report with a recommendation. The report will be presented to the Planning Advisory Committee and the committee may forward it to Council for first reading. Council may then schedule a public hearing. Properties within 500 feet will be notified of the hearing. After the hearing, the application will go back to Council for a second reading, which will be followed by a 14-day appeal period. So this process usually takes about 6 to 12 months for most applications. County of Kings map. The red circle on the map is the approximate location of the property within the county. And this is a subject property, which is about 32 acres. The access to the property is from Randolph Road. The southern portion of the property is partially developed with storage units and a business office. This is the zoning map of the area. The eastern portion, shown in the dashed yellow line, is currently undeveloped and zoned rural mixed use, the A2 zone. The applicant intends to develop a self-storage facility on that portion, but the A2 zone does not permit self-storage facilities as of right. Therefore, the request is to rezone it to the rural industrial zone, the M3 zone, which would enable the development of self-storage units. As we can see here, the central area of the property is already zoned M3 and the proposed rezoning would extend the zoning to the eastern portion. And this is the proposed site plan. And we have the land use designation map of the area. The designation determines which zones and types of uses can be permitted in the area. As shown, the property is within the agricultural designation. Both the current zoning and the proposed zoning are permitted within this designation. As both zones are permitted within the designation, Council is able to consider this rezoning. With regards to neighboring uses, there is the Michelin tire plant to the north. The properties to the west and the east are primarily developed with residential uses. The properties to the south are undeveloped and wooded. In order for Council to consider a rezoning, it has to be enabled by our policies within our municipal planning strategy. There are two policies enabling this rezoning. Policies 2.1.12 and 3.4.23 enable Council to consider rezoning land from the rural mixed-use zone, A2 zone, to the rural industrial M3 zone, provided the proposal meets a few policy criteria. And these are the criteria the proposal will need to meet. So council has to be satisfied that the proposal is not on a land that has been in recent agricultural production, that it wouldn't rezone more land than required, that it will not create any undue conflict with nearby agricultural or rural residents, and that it meets the general criteria. This is an additional policy that applies to all rezonings. The things we evaluate in this policy are whether the proposal is consistent with the proposed zone's placement policies, whether the impacts of the proposed use and other permitted uses within the new zone are acceptable, and whether it meets the general criteria. And finally, the general criteria, which requires us to look into various aspects such as the proposal's consistency with the municipal planning strategy, the compatibility with surrounding uses, financial impacts, adequacy of fire protection services, adequacy of sewer and water services, and various other aspects. Most of these will be reviewed by us, the municipality, but there are a few that are not within our jurisdiction, and we would reach out to the relevant departments for their feedback. So, as mentioned earlier, following our review of the application, staff will prepare a report with a recommendation which will inform Council's final decision. That concludes the presentation. If there are any questions or concerns, please feel free to reach out to me at 902-690-6276 or by email at ajacob@countyofkings.ca. Thank you.